Livable Places is a City of Houston initiative focused on creating opportunities within our development rules that encourage housing variety and affordability. We're creating more accessible, diverse, and inclusive neighborhoods with a greater variety of housing and transportation choices, more opportunities in the city development standards for safer, more walkable neighborhoods that are less car dependent with better access to transit and bike facilities, and a greater variety of housing options at a more attainable price points for all Houstonians. Let's take a look at some of those housing options. First, we see a woman who is ready to downsize but wants to stay in her neighborhood. We also meet a couple with young children looking to rent a single-family home in an established neighborhood. Let's see what they have to say.
My old house was too much to maintain. Moving to a smaller space and renting out my home let me stay in the neighborhood and earn some retirement income.
There aren't many rental homes available in this neighborhood, and this is the perfect place for our family.
Second dwelling units, also called accessory dwelling units, granny flats, garage apartments, can be attached to the garage or stand alone in the backyard. Here are some examples. If you're looking for some design inspiration, check out the downloadable or hard copy ADU HOU design book on our website. The next housing type is narrow lot development. Neighborhoods are seeing these types of housing as existing lots subdivided into narrow lots. In this scenario, we hear from a woman whose at-home tutoring business benefits from unobstructed sidewalks, and from a mom who feels safer with more eyes on the street.
As an at-home tutor, I love that my block has an alley because it helps keep the sidewalks clear for my students. On-street parking is easier without lots of driveways.
Since my neighbors have front yards and porches facing the street, I feel way safer walking my kids to the school, the park, and the library.
There are benefits and safety considerations for narrow lot development. This photo shows two different options of narrow lot development. Which way looks safer for pedestrians? Ideally, the right side of the street would be safe because these homes have a continuous sidewalk with street-facing patios and ample space along the street for parking. Garages and driveways are located on the back side of the house, facing a shared driveway or alley. Livable Places is encouraging these kind of homes to be built more often in Houston. The narrow lot homes on the left side of the street have wide driveways that intersect the sidewalk at multiple points of entry, increasing the safety risk to pedestrians. To enhance safety and walkability, Livable Places is proposing changes that would encourage homes with front-facing garages, also known as front loaders, to now have common narrow drives shared between two lots. Our next type of housing is multi-unit residential, such as triplexes, multiple duplexes, fourplexes, but no more than 8 units on a property that does not have deed restrictions. Here, we see a couple who no longer need a large home and a graduate student who wants to live somewhere walkable and bikeable to his school and job.
With our kids grown, we don't need such a big house. Converting it to a fourplex helps us with retirement and made our space more manageable.
As a grad student without a car, this apartment is perfect for me. I can afford to live close enough to walk or bike to campus and my job.
Here are some examples of what multi-unit residential development could look like. Last but not least, we have Courtyard Style development. Our scenario shows a couple who is tired of commuting in from the suburbs, and a woman eager to find a home closer in town that is in her price range.
The commute from our house in Katy to the Texas Medical Center took over an hour. We are thrilled to find a place closer to town that we can afford.
I wanted a single-family home in this neighborhood, but I couldn't afford a house on a big lot. This is the best of both worlds.
This development will allow single-family lots to be clustered around a privately managed courtyard space. There will be no limits to lot size or density, but will have a maximum height restriction to stay within the current look and feel of the neighborhood. These changes require less parking for smaller homes that will be attractive to people who have just one car, and eliminate minimum parking requirements for homes that are closer to other modes of transit, like rail lines, high-frequency bus routes, and protected bike lanes. Parking minimums are the total parking spaces that a builder must provide on-site for new development. Reducing parking minimums does not remove existing parking nor prevent builders from adding parking as desired. To sum up, these type of housing developments will allow for housing on smaller lots, allow for different types of open space, allow for narrower and fewer driveways, and allow for more ways to access on-site parking. And a very critical final point to remember: these changes respect deed restrictions. The city has no authority to override or supersede active private deed restrictions. If your neighborhood has deed restrictions prohibiting these types of development, these changes will not apply to your neighborhood. Check with your neighborhood homeowners association to learn more about what your deed restrictions allow. So now that we have explored possible housing options for Houstonians, take a moment to think about how your housing needs might change over the next 5, 10, or 20 years, and how these options could benefit you, your neighbors, friends, and family.